開 YouTube 嗰邊啊，咁係同樣都係啦，都係大家建議大家都，如果你有多過一部裝置咧，你可以繼續留翻喺 Google Meet 嗰度嘅，咁就可以令即係問問題等等都方便啲啦。咁同埋如果你兩個都開住嘅話咧，咁你 Google Meet 嗰度可能你可以瞄咗個喇叭去咁樣，咁就唔使兩個聲會搭咗，因為 YouTube 嗰個會稍微 delay 1-2秒嘅，比起即係我而家講緊嘅。咁就所以你可以睇翻即係之後都睇 YouTube 嗰度。咁啊，但係就留翻喺 Google Meet 度有需要可以即刻問嘢。咁啊，但係就留翻喺 Google Meet 度有需要可以即刻問嘢。咁啊，但係就留翻喺 Google Meet 度有需要可以即刻問嘢。好，咁就 YouTube link。等先，開咗啦。OK， 好。好，我放咗個 Google Meet 先，跟住有 WhatsApp 都會放。咦？係咪呢條 link 嚟？我試多次先。無法播放，有乜鬼？順帶一提啦，咁咧，琴日我直喺另一班教書嗰時咧，突然間上下堂咧，突然間死咗啊部電腦。咁所以個 YouTube 嗰度咧就會即刻係變咗轉圈啊，即係等緊咁樣。咁所以如果咧今日不幸地有呢個情況咧，大家亦都唔使咁驚嘅。咁就總之你等一陣啦，我盡快就會撥翻起部機，跟住開翻個直播㗎啦。咁就所以咧即係大家唔使驚嘅。我貼多次係 Google Meet 嘅嗰度，同埋喺呢個嘅WhatsApp 都貼咗啦。咁大家可以過去嗰邊啊。咁過去嗰邊都 say 個 hi 先啦。YouTube 試音試多次 YouTube 試音收唔收到？ YouTube 試音。Oh, hello everyone, hello. Could you all hear me in YouTube? You can mute the speaker of the Google Meet, so avoid the overlapping of the sound. Could you hear me in YouTube? Okay, yes, thank you very much, yes. Okay, then today it will be really the last time that we work on chapter 0. That is the pre-chapter of our Form 4. And therefore, to begin, maybe I wait a little moment first because there are still a few not yet here. Okay, a few not yet here. Let me wait like about half minute. So and then so that you all are here in here. So this today will really be the last time that we work on this chapter 0. Probably there may be some time left in this lesson, and therefore if there are some time left, we will also do the homework together. This is to remind you that there will be a homework to hand in on 10th of September. Some of you have already handed in, that's very good. But then, be reminded, if you hand in the homework late, then according to our school policy, then we will also count late assignment record. So therefore, remember to hand in on time. It is within the 10th of September, which is the day after tomorrow. So this will be the last time we work on it, and then next time we will then start chapter 4. We will then start chapter 4. So if you have not yet bought the book, you have not got the book chapter 4a, chapter 4, which is about straight line equation. Then please really tell me if you cannot get the book before the lesson. Then really tell me, and then I will have some kind of ways to help you. For example, I will just send you one chapter, and then you can at least survive the chapter 4. Okay, so this is one of the things. While another one. Let me to begin with. I introduce this to again to you. So I remove the cover photo first, and then to show this to you that the online mathematics practice website Then what do I introduce here today? It is that a new session is put into the website, and as you can see on the screen here, that we have now added the 4A chapter 0. Okay, 4A chapter 0, which is the chapter we are talking about. Therefore, you can also take this as a practice. And for every of the skill, if you get 3 questions consecutively correct, then you will get a star. And then later we will also talk about how this star will be used, will be counted. For example, a brief idea would be they will be counted as bonus marks in tests. Okay, so maybe we will talk about it later, because I think we will have tests after we return to school, because it is not very convenient to have tests online, and then we will have tests for different chapters after we return to school, which is supposedly to be 29th, and then afterwards then we will talk more about all these. Okay, and then so we begin the last part of chapter 4 here today. Okay, so I change back to my iPad display first. iPad, I disconnected. Okay. Not yet here. Sorry, a moment please, so that I try to fix the iPad display. Why? Is it here? Yes. And then, so why is it not here? Oh, okay. Oh, don't know why. Okay, so it is okay now. We will still on this set of worksheets, and then this time we will go to this question 8, which try to follow from the last time. Okay, so are you ready? So sorry for that, a little delay here for setting up, a little technical problem here. So are you all ready now? Okay, ready? So it was on page 13. So ready? Are you all ready? Ready? Okay. Worksheet okay. And so this is also homework. Therefore, in fact, we are kind of doing the homework together. Okay. So let's begin. Then this time I zoom in a little bit more, and then this is question 8, page 13. If a model aircraft is about a plane, and then carries X kg of fuel to help it fly for a longer time, then it can travel for Y km at most. Okay, so the data are X kg of fuel, and then it can travel for Y km. So this is the weight of the fuel, and this is the how long it can go. And then where the relation is also given in equation. Okay, so this whole chapter is about relation between different things. And then this is the equation that describe the relation. So this is one of the kind. Apart from equation, we can also describe it in table, or which is seems easy to see increase and decrease. And while we can also describe it in graph. And then this one we are really seeing how to use the graph. Okay, so then we will begin with this one. So the graph here you see is the parabola. By the way, I didn't talk about parabola. Later, chapter 1 we'll talk more about it. Anyway, it is a curve. Okay, just a curve. Okay, a curve like this. So the graph shows the relation. Okay, while for the bracket it tries to explain something, but not very important to if it is calculation. But anyway, it has some meaning. Is that if it carries too much field, then it will be too heavy and cannot go far. And it also makes sense. Okay, so and then a point P and Q lie on the graph. So point P and point Q lie on the graph, while P is the maximum point. Here, maximum point means it is the highest, because on the graph here, when x goes from 0 up to here, just somewhere maybe bigger than 7, then this point P is the highest on the graph. Therefore, we call it the maximum point. Later, when we all really learn about this kind of graph, like in chapter 1, so after 4, it will be chapter 1. After 4, it will be 1. And then, we will also learn more about these properties, for example, maximum point. But then we just here see how graph is used. Okay, we just see how it is used. So find P and Q. To find the P and Q, the small p, okay, the small p is found for the y coordinate of the point P, and therefore so we try to recognize what's the meaning of this point P, or what's the meaning, or how is this graph, how is this curve drawn, how is this curve plotted, how is this curve drawn. Then it is that there is a relation between the x coordinates and the y coordinates, and then the relation can be described by an equation and also can be represented by the graph. That means this equation and this graph means the same relation, but just different way to show. And therefore this point P, the x is 5, the y is p here, then this relation 5p should be the same relation with the equation, and which means this x5 yp substituted into the equation should be correct, because they mean the same relation. And therefore what we do here is p is the point on the graph, therefore we can put x equal to 5, y equal to p into the equation. And then so you will have y is p, therefore the left hand side y change to p, and then the right hand side is x, or change all x to 5, therefore 10 5 minus 5 square. And then after calculation, then 50 minus 25, which is 25. Then from here we can find the p. Similarly, we can also do it for q. Or maybe we really need to do it. Okay, so maybe we really finish it together and leave others as your homework. Okay, so so similarly we can also find q, because this q, the small q here, comes from the y coordinates of q as well, and therefore we use this again, x equal to 7, y equal to q, substituted into the equation, and then we can find the other value. So we can sub x to be 7, y equal to q. And then again, just like before, this 7 and q, they come in pair and substituted into the equation at the same time, and therefore q will be 10 7 minus 7 square. And after calculation, it is a 70 minus 49, which is 21. Okay, so then q, we can find p and q here. So puppy is about another use, maybe the other way to use it. So if the aircraft needs to travel for 21 km, how much fuel it should carry, at least how much fuel it should carry. And so we first recognize this 21 km, what should we put into the relation? 21 km is the distance. The easiest way is to match the unit km. Therefore, km, match the units km. And so from here, we know this 22 km should be y because the units are both km. And so what we do here is to put y to be 21 km. And then we no need km indeed. Y is just 21 because it has a km at the end here. Okay, and so put y to be 21. Then the equation would be 21 equal to 10x minus x squared. Or the other way to see it would be y is 21. Then where is y21? Where is y21? So if we refer back to the part A, we have the 2 points. We have found this P is 25 while Q is 21. Then you can see when y is 21, indeed this point Q has a y coordinate 21. We find it in part A. Therefore when y is 21, it means it is at the same height. It is at the same height as this graph. So I try to draw a line here to show the same height, maybe in purple. Okay, so I try to draw a line to show this is the height 21. And then so at least how much fuel? That means we want to bring fuel as little as possible. Therefore, so of course you have got one of the position here. That is when x is 7, then y will be 21. And of course then if you bring if the plane brings 7 kg of fuel, it's okay. However, from this purple line, okay, from this purple line, you see there is another position, which is also 21. There is another position which is also 21, which is the earlier point here, this earlier point. And then this earlier point is also 21. But then since it is earlier, it means that this x will be smaller. X smaller means it brings fewer fuel, or maybe less. It's about countable down. Okay, it can bring less fuel. And so if it can bring less fuel, then maybe if we can find this one, it will be our real answer at the end. Okay, so to recap it, to put this everything together, then this point 721 that we find in part A, of course it is a 21. Therefore, it means that if you bring 7 kg, it is okay. But then when we draw this horizontal line, it means that there is an earlier point which is also possible for 21 km. And since this point is earlier, it means that the amount of fuel to bring is less. Therefore, so this point seems more suitable for at least how much. And so this should be the answer, but it is not given. Any idea how can we find this point? It is not given. This point is not given at all. We only know the height here is 21. But then how can we know the position of this point? That means how can we know the x? We only know x is smaller, but we don't know how small it is, because this graph may not be to scale. Yeah, okay, yes, I see the chat room answer 3. Okay, so Henry tells us it is 3. Okay, so but why is it 3, or how do you know it is 3? How do you know it is 3? So the idea here is we try to take the maximum point at the highest, then it is supposed to be symmetric left and right. That means this and this should be symmetric. Left and right are the same. And therefore, if 5 is in the middle, then it is 7. Okay, so maybe I really draw but not just highlight. So if 5 is in the middle, then this side is 7, then this side should be also the same distance, which means 2, 2. And therefore, this is 5 minus 2, which is 3. So the answer 3 is really correct. And then yeah, so if you want to explain, then you can explain by this middle point 5. This 5 is the middle point. therefore the middle of this unknown x and 7 will be 5. Or to calculate it, then it will be then this x plus 7 over 2 to find the midpoint will be 5. Therefore x is 3. And indeed we don't need this equation at the first place, because this equation only tells us to refer to the graph. Okay, so the real work would be x plus 7 over 2 equals to 5. Then now, this question may be a little bit more complicated, because it involves more concept. For example, it involves about the height of the graph, and also it involves about the symmetry of the graph. Okay, so this is the question 8. Is it okay? If there are any questions, please feel free to ask. Because, well, our target here today is to finish this chapter 0 today. We surely have enough time. Also, is it okay? Is it okay? Yeah, if it's okay, so show me something like 1 or yes or okay or whatever. Okay, show me something. Okay, hold. Thank you. Okay, thank you. So, okay, then we will move on to more. As while the question I did not do, so I suppose they would be like the one I did here. In fact, I think the question 8 here will be the most difficult. Therefore, the other one should be okay, maybe easier. Alright, so the other one I didn't do, maybe easier. Therefore, I leave it to you as your homework. And then also same here, this one also, but this time the graph you may need more work to do. It will be also a curve. Okay, it will be also a curve, like an inverted U-shaped curve. Okay, so this one I also leave it to you. But if this question 9, for example, you have problems, remember to ask me. Okay, you remember to ask for help. Okay, so we will then move on to the next part to solve equation using graph. So I will take some of the questions as example. The first one you will do it later, but because the second one may be a little more complicated, so we will explain the second one instead. So I'll talk about this question 2 on page 15. Question 2 here on page 15. Okay, so this is we try to use a graph. By the way, again, a graph shows a relation between x and y, for example. Okay, so we have a relation in a form of equation and a relation in the form of a graph. So they are the same relation, but just different representation, different ways to show. Okay, so the figure shows the graph of y equal to x squared plus 4x. Usually, we should write the equation next to the graph to show. It's just like when you do it in lower form. After you draw the straight line, you write the equation next to it. It is a good habit. Okay, then we want to solve some equation. How is it done? So even the first question is the same type. Therefore, I talk about the second to help you understand more. Okay, so 2a. So solve x squared plus 4x equal to 0. Then we try to see the relation between these two. This is the original given equation, and this is the equation we are to solve. So note that they are different. This equation here, it is a relation between x and y. So you see x and y in the equation. While in part A, we are to solve an equation. Solve an equation means we want to find the x. We want to find x. And therefore, this is the different idea. The equation of relation and the equation to solve, they are different idea. But they are related because you see there are exactly the same expression found. X squared plus 4x are the same. And therefore, it means that y equal to 0. Therefore, we just try to find when y equal to 0 and then use the graph to help us. What's the meaning of y equal to 0? It means the y coordinate is 0. Y coordinate is 0, that means it should be on the x-axis. And then so we find when this graph is on the x-axis, which means these are the 2 points. And then from here we can read directly from the graph when y equal to 0, then x is equal to 0, one of the point, or x equals to -4, that's the other point. Okay, so this is to use the graph to help us solve equation. Then we can directly find from reading the graph 0 and -4. So this is the first part. Is this okay? So it is a direct reading from the graph. So is this okay? It is it is the basic form first, and then part B will be a little going one step further. So is this okay? Okay, is it good? Is it okay? So far so good? Okay, yeah, okay, thank you very much. Okay, so and then next going to the part B, you see it is a little different then, which is that we have one more term, -5 here, but still try to recognize y is x squared plus 4. Then you find the same expression x squared plus 4 here, and therefore try to replace it with y. So I try to use another color. I use green for the part B, and then because I later mark on the graph, then you can match the parts. So you find the same expression, and therefore we place this to y. That means y minus 5 equals to 0, and then do a little more rearrangement. Then y equal to 5. That is, we want to find what x give us y equal to 5. So we want to find x. Solve means to find x again, but then so to find x such that y equals to 5. Then from the graph we try to find when y is 5. So y is 5 means y is 5. This is the height of y equals to 5. And then so from here we can read from the graph, this is y equal to 5. And then so from the graph we have x is -5, which is the first point, and then the other x is 1. Okay, so this is the part B. We go one step further when there are other terms. Then we still replace our familiar term. We place the term that appear more than once. So we place the same term here with y. Then we can know the position of y, and then we can read from the graph and get x. So this is the part B. It's like part A, but then just going one step further. Okay, next, then it is the part C. Part C, maybe I use blue. If x is an integer, and then satisfy x squared plus 4x less than 0. Again, you see the same expression, then we replace it first, which is y less than 0. And y less than 0 means the y coordinate is less than 0. And 0 is the y coordinate 0 is the x-axis. Therefore, less than 0 means it is below the x-axis. And therefore, we try to find what are the x such that the graph will be below the x-axis. And therefore, I try to put some remark here. This means below the x-axis. And because the x-axis is y equal to 0. And therefore, we want to find here when this curve will be below the x-axis. And then the part that below the x-axis, I try to highlight it, will be this part. And so this part, what are the x in this part? Then you can see the x corresponding to the x in this part will be between -4 and 0. And therefore, from the graph, then we have x should be between -4 and 0. So is this okay? I think this is also a little bit more concept here. Okay, is this okay? Is this okay? 呢個我覺得有多少少複雜咗嘅，複雜多少少嘅，因為佢會牽涉咗一個範圍啊。咁你見到當個 graph 咧係低過，即係 y 細過0，即係話我想要佢低過個 x-axis， 所以咧佢會係一個範圍嚟嘅。 係啦，呢個範圍，咁就係啦，咁啊係啦，講得好好啊，咁啊我間咗另一個嘅喎 ，x is an integer 喎，咁所以即係點啊？即係我要抄翻啲 integer 嘅出嚟咯，我要喺翻呢個範圍入邊抄翻啲 integer 出嚟咯。Therefore x between 0 and -4， so x is either -1、-2 or -3。係啦，冇錯，非常好啊！你幫我補充翻個答案啦，係啊嗱，留意啊！我通常咧上堂嘅時候咧都係會咁樣㗎，我可能做下又唔完整啊，或者有啲可能我特登錯啊咁樣嘅，咁你記得要話我知啊，因為我想睇下你係咪明白我講咩㗎嘛。如果你發現到我講嘅嘢有啲咩問題啊，或者漏嗰啲乜嘢，咁你就知道你真係明白啦，咁啊非常好。OK 係啦，咁啊 x is an integer，therefore we get back the integer from the range。咁咧題外話啦，少少題外話啦，呢個 part C 咧其實叫做咧 solve 一個 inequality 嘅。咁其實咧，如果即係唔係用呢個，唔係真係俾咗個圖你咁樣嚟 solve 咧，咁 solve inequality 咧，其實我哋喺 Form 5嘅上學期會學嘅。咁不過咧，如果我哋有個圖去幫我哋處理嘅話咧，咁你就情況會令到變得簡單好多。即係有個圖嘅話，你淨係睇翻佢究竟係 below x axis 喺邊度。咁就會簡單好多啦。咁所以咧，呢度亦都可以俾大家見到個 graph 啊，嗰個圖嘅一啲用處啦。好，咁呢個 O 唔 OK 啊？OK， 我哋下一條噶咯喎。我哋下一條我仲有幾條，應該係時間上應該 OK 嘅。好，maybe OK， we move on to another one. So this is the last section, and also the last two pages, 16 and 17. 17, yes, 17 is the 18, okay, but anyway, 18 I didn't mark any question. Okay, so the last section, 3.3, this unit 3.3 is about to find unknowns, unknown constants. That is sometimes, okay, the graph is given. Oh, the graph is given, that means that is good because if the graph is given, we can take any point we like on the graph. Any point on the graph can be means the relation between the x, y. But sometimes in the equation there are unknown, so you can see an unknown k here in the equation. Therefore, if we want to find some unknowns in the equation relation, then we can make use of the graph because the equation and the graph they refer to the same relation. Then, for example here, okay, so we are to find the unknown constant k. By the way, I didn't mark this question, so I did not plan to talk about it, but we can still talk about it. Okay, so you don't need to do so many. So this equation relation and the graph relation, they mean the same thing. Therefore, we can take points here from the graph to help us find the equation. For example, I maybe take by the way, of course, when you take points, try to be clever and smart. Try to take some easy points. For example, okay, I zoom in the graph a little more. Then, for example, you can take this point. This point is easy because you can match to 6 and 5 easily. And try not to take the middle point. Oh, don't take this one because this one is so hard to read. Because it is, we don't know it is 6 point something, but point something we don't know. Therefore, when you take points from the graph, try to take easy points. Then, like I take this 6, 5. So to find this k, I should write it here, but I just want to see the graph at the same time. Therefore, I put x to be 6, y to be 5 into this equation. Because this point is on the graph, it means it satisfies the relation, which it also satisfies the same relation, and therefore, so I put x6, y5, then change it. 5 equals to 2 plus k6, and then so rearranging, put the 2 on the left hand side, therefore 5 minus 2, therefore it is 3 equal to 6k, and then we have k divided 6 to the other side, 1 over 2, and so we can find this k easily. And we take another similar example for question 2. We take another similar example. So again, here we have a situation is the shoemaker produce X pairs of shoes a day. X pairs of shoes. Then the profit will be Y dollars. Where this Y is related to X by a relation. However, you can see there are unknowns B and C, or maybe I also really circle the unknown. the unknown B and unknown C. We have the unknowns here. And then so, of course, you will see we are to find the unknowns. And so, the graph on the right-hand side can help us to do it. Again, similarly, try to choose easy points. Don't try to choose the point inside the grid. Try to choose points which is on the lines. Try to choose points which is on the lines. For example, here I try to choose 1, 5, while this point I try to choose is 4, 8, for example. This is the case when you work on solving. But of course, let's read the question. I didn't read the question yet. Okay, so the choosing maybe we do later. So read the question. When x is 0, what is the value of y? That means, well, so when x is 0, so we in this whole graph we find when x is 0. So when x is 0, that means the x coordinate is 0. That means it is here. And then so on the graph, then we can read directly when x is 0. Then directly y is also 0. Okay, and then so hence find the value of c. Then we can substitute this pair 0, 0 into the equation to help us get some unknowns. Therefore, so put y to be 0, the left hand side y is 0, while the right hand side is bx minus x squared plus c. Therefore, bx minus x squared plus c. But all these are 0, therefore they just go away. And so after going away, then c is just 0. So c is 0. Then we can find this c. Part B is to find B as well. Then really here we choose some points to help us. So choose some other points. We have already used this point, so try to choose another easy point. For example, okay, maybe I choose this one again. This is 1, 5. Then we put x to be 1, y equals to 5 back into the equation here. And then so we have 5 equals to b1. And then minus 1 square, and then plus c. But c is 0. We have already found it in the earlier part. This c is 0. We have already found it. And therefore, now we just have one unknown, one equation, and we can solve it. So this is b times 1, that means b. And then this minus 1 go to the other side, become plus 1. Therefore, b is 6. Okay, so this is the question about, this is question 2. Finally, I want to see one more question with you, which is about more than one unknown. More than one unknown. Is there? Oh, seems no. Oh, anyway, we will have more later. Okay, so more than one unknown. This one has got really many unknowns. Therefore, okay, so question 6 on which is on the second last page, page 17. Okay, question 6. So we see that again the relation is y equal to x squared plus ax plus b, and the graph corresponding to it is given. And there are some points also marked on the graph, point A, point B, and point C. But point A is okay, 1, 8, no unknown. Point B, okay, no unknown. But point C, it has an unknown C in the y coordinates. Also, in the original equation, we also find some unknowns. We have the unknown A and unknown B here. Therefore, we are to find all these unknowns. So they are the A, B, C we want to find. So we know all these points, they are with the relation, and the relation equation is this one. Therefore, we know all these points we can put into the equation. However, there are too many unknowns here. Therefore, to help us work better, then it's better we don't put the unknown point first, because this point has got an unknown, and it's better that we can put the points first. Yeah. Yes, use calculator program. That's right. I really want to talk about this. Okay, so we can put the unknowns. And also, note also that in the equation of the relation, there are unknowns A and B, two unknowns. So according to our lower form experience, if we want to find two unknowns, we need two equations. Okay, so if there are two unknowns A, B, if we want to find two unknowns, we need to have two equations. Therefore, put one point in it, then we got one equation. put the other point in it, we got two equations. So we try to work on it. Put a, which is 1/8, into the equation. The short form for equation. Yes. So substitute the x and y's. Yes. And then so the x is 1, y is 8. Therefore, h equal to 1 square plus a1 plus b. And then simplify a little bit. Then we have a plus b equals to 8 minus 1, which is 7. Then this is the equation 1. Put the other point b, which is -3, 4, into the equation. Then we the point b, we have x is -3, y is 4. Therefore 4 is the y, equals to x is -3, therefore -3 square, and then plus a -3, and then plus b. And be careful when working, this is -3 squared. Therefore it is negative become positive. 負負得正啊。Therefore it will be positive 9. And so maybe I really write it out to make it easier. Of course, if you can work fast, you can skip the steps. On the other hand, it's a times -3, therefore minus 3a, and then plus b. Rearranging, we have -3a plus b equals to minus the 9 to the other side, therefore -5. We have equation 2. And then we just focus these two equations. And it is a 2 equation, 2 unknown question. Oh, highlight a little bit bad. Okay, better. We have 2 equations, 2 unknown. Then in our lower form, we learn how to do it. However, you don't need to do it in the lower form way, because I am here to suggest you to use the calculator program. Okay, calculator program. So did you, please answer me in the chat room, did you have the calculator program for 2 equations, 2 unknown? Did you have the calculator program for 2 equations, 2 unknown? Did you have it? Yes, no, yes, yes, no. Oh, okay, I see some yes, some no. Just please answer me. Okay, so everyone try to answer me, yes or no. Do you have the calculator program for 2 equations, 2 unknown? You don't know. Some yes, some no. Not sure. Okay, so now if you are not sure, or if you have not input the program at all, I try to show it here, but I don't know if it is good in the webcam. Okay, so我要轉一轉啦，因為我個 webcam 或者我淨係剝佢落嚟啦，剝佢落嚟可能易睇啲。OK， 剝佢落嚟啦。OK， so I try to see the calculator. OK， so if I want to use this equation, I want to use the program. Then 我見到 no 好似多啲啊。嗱，如果你想用 program 呢度轉一轉中文啊。如果你想用 program 嘅話咧，你只要將你本身條 equation 本身條 equation 即係你睇翻大畫面嗰度，你變翻做 unknown 擺一邊，咁我圈一圈佢嚇，你將佢 unknown 擺喺一邊，然後數字擺另一邊 ，unknown 擺另一邊，數字擺另一邊，咁你就用個 program 可以㗎。嗱，如果冇 program 嘅話咧，我之後再話俾你知點樣。其實咧喺我嗰個 Discord server， 即係話直播頂頭嗰條連結咧 ，Discord server 入邊，我 Mathematics Channel 咧係我有個 file 係教你點樣入㗎啦。咁我呢個之後再講嚇，我之後可能再 show 俾你睇點樣做。咁就好啦，咁咧有 program 咁點啊？咁啊就撳 program， 我就入咗2嘅，所以 program 2。咁我照跟住嘅啫。嗱，大家一路睇住你嗰個，你可以睇住嗰個大畫面同埋個 webcam 個畫面嚇。咁我就跟住入啦。第一條係 a 加 b 等於7，所以我就入翻 A 前面嗰個數字，即係呢個，即係 A 係幾多個 A 同埋幾多個 B， 咁 A 加 B 等於7，所以我又入係1，跟住1，跟住另一邊嗰個齋數字嗰 part 就7咁樣，跟住然後咧到第二條式啦，第二條式就係-3A 加 B 等於-5，咁所以就-3，B 係1個，跟住右邊係即係另一邊係-5，咁我入-5。咁於是乎就出答案俾你㗎啦。咁咧第一個就係 A 啦，即係你入咗個 A 先，咁第一個答案就係 A 就係3，B 就係4， 咁你就唔使自己做嘅嚇，完全唔使自己做嘅。我哋高中開始都係㗎啦，我哋呢啲 step 唔會再俾分你㗎啦。Two equations to unknown 我估大家都大概識做嘅，即係最多可能係會有少少唔小心嘅啫，做落嘅時候。但係咧嚟緊高中咧，我哋就唔會再俾 step 分㗎啦，我哋淨係 check 個答案啱唔啱嘅啫。所以就用 program 幫我哋解決啦。咁我就放翻好個 webcam 先。係啦，咁我哋用 program 幫我哋解決啦，咁所以大家就唔使再自己做㗎。你見親 two equations to unknown， 你將佢整翻呢個形式，即係你將佢整翻呢個嘅unknown 擺一邊，呢個數字擺一邊。咁咧我點寫啊？咁我就 by solving 1 and 2。Then we have A is 3, B is 4. You don't need to show any steps at all. Okay, then this is it. So for those who have not yet inputted the program, then I show you here how are you going to do it. So a moment please. Then I show you about my Discord server. Discord. And that's why at the very beginning of this whole year, I already introduced you with my Discord server. So you can see this is my Discord server, LCY, my server name, and then we have different channel. And for example, I also created a channel for you. If you would like to discuss, you can also do it here. And then in the mathematics channel, okay, so there are many different channels. Also notification for live lessons or live at night. Okay, so in the mathematics channel, then in the pin message， 即係置頂啊嚇 ，mathematics channel 入邊嘅置頂，因為我將啲重要嘅嘢就放喺置頂㗎，咁你所以可以入翻去我 Discord channel 呢度咧，上面置頂呢個，咁咧就已經有個我將啲重要嘅文件放喺度㗎，例如其實呢個係超重要嘅 summary on compile， 係將成個 compile 嘅所有課程咧，將佢一個完整嘅總結咁樣嘅。咁當然就唔係話温咗就可以考得試啦，咁但係即係有啲 point form 咁總結。咁亦都有 summary on M2 嘅，咁但係呢個其實我都會一路 update 嘅，可能遲啲又會多啲 update 咁樣。咁就嗱呢度啦，呢度就有個啦，呢個下面呢個啊嚇嚟多次嚇喺 mathematics channel， 跟住咧有支大頭針置頂嘅，即係釘住佢就代表佢 keep 住佢你可以睇永遠都睇到，即係唔使係咁碌咁樣啊嚇。咁就置頂嘅。咁呢個咧再碌落少少呢度咧，呢個就係嗰個 calculator program 啊。咁我開俾大家睇，我開俾大家睇，睇下係點樣嘅。咁你咧之後就可以跟住入啦。咁我知差唔多時間啦，咁所以我好快講埋佢就完啦。咁就係啦。咁我就轉翻去我啱啱開個 file。睇下先，個 file 係呢個應該係啦。咁你喺呢個 file， 咁咧你就會咧有呢個嘅有啲唔同嘅 program。咁其實咧呢度頭4個 program 都係建議大家嚟緊課公開試係入嘅。咁呢度就會有呢個 two equations to unknown 啦。咁你去翻呢個 page 4咧，跟住入就可以㗎啦。其實唔係太多步驟，呢個好短嘅 program 就係咁樣嘅啫。咁所以你可以去翻呢度 download 翻我呢個 file， 然後咧你就跟住入就得㗎啦。跟住個步驟入，咁你入咗之後咧就可以做翻頭先我做嗰樣嘢啦。OK 嗱，咁如果冇嘅話咧，咁你就可以自己去呢度攞咯喎。OK， 咁啊最後提翻功課，就係10號之前交 compile， 然後咧聽日咧係有個 M2 嗰個網上 quiz 要交翻俾我嘅，咁有我大概收到一半左右啦，咁就未交嘅咧，你都交翻嗰個compile 嗰個quiz online 嗰個，咁啊兩樣嘢 OK， 咁我哋聽日亦都有 M2 堂嘅，咁再之後咧就有翻compile 嘅堂咁樣嘅，好，咁啊夠鐘啦，咁我唔阻大家啦，咁我哋今日都直播到呢度，我哋下次再見啦嚇，聽日嘅 M2 就再見啦，好，拜拜。